Hello everyone, I'm Michelle and welcome to another video. I have had some requests to do, I did a video on my finished jewelry from the Wild Horse collection, the Eureka Crystal Beads Wild Horse collection that I received in April. And I made, one of the things I made was this wrap bracelet. And I got some requests to learn how to do a tutorial. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. It's not going to be, of course, exactly the same. It's going to be different colored leather. It's going to be different colored beads. Different, it's going to be different, but all the leather wrap bracelets are pretty much made the same, as in the way they're constructed. Now, there's 100 different ways actually you could do it differently, but I'm basically going to do the same construction, okay? Because you wanted a tutorial on this bracelet, I'm basically going to do, the same walnuts. We're going to transition and do different beads, transition and do different beads, but it's going to be different beads and different colored leather. Thing that you can clamp your leather to. Doesn't have to be fancy. I'm using one of my storage boxes. I'm using the lid. You can see I'm using the lid to my storage box, and these are really handy. And okay, so these clamps, I'll take them all out. I'll take a few. They've got the rubber tips, to protect whatever you're clamping. You can get these. I got these at my Dollar Tree. They come 6 for $1. So I got a couple packages of them. You're going to need some clamps. Any clamps will do. All right, so I'll just stick a few of them out here. You're going to need some leather. I'm using small leather this time. That bracelet was 1.5 millimeter leather. I'm going to try the 0.5. I'm going to see how that works, because, okay, so when I design a piece, or if I'm not even thinking about designing a piece, beads are normally, the material is normally my inspiration. I got these beads at Hobby Lobby. These are Czech, kind of like those gemstone rondelles, they call them. And, okay, my camera keeps messing up. So I got these beads at Hobby Lobby, and they're so pretty. They're real, I don't think the true colors really don't look like, anyway, it's coming out on my screen, but they're real dark, kind of dark aqua in the center, and then they've got like the travertine on the edges. So this bead was my inspiration for this wrap bracelet. It inspired me to use the blue leather. It inspired me to use these colors, these beads that I love so much. Matches perfectly. And then I got some other colors thrown in here. I've got some khaki color, because when the blue and the brownish color meet, there's like a, I don't know, olive khaki green color that kind of comes through. Same as in here. So I got some khaki 4mm bicones. I'm not sure if I'm going to use these 3mm pearls, but 3mm rounds. The important thing is not to have the exact same beads that I have, but to have all different size beads and types of beads to choose from in your design. So I've got some white pearl Mayuki Tilas, maybe. I thought I got some like milky opally colored white 6mm fire polish, or is that 8? I'm not sure. Let's see. sometimes these fire polish beads, like this is a 4mm, and this was supposed to be a 6mm, but yeah, and it's bigger than the 4mm, but these are 8mm, and they're way bigger. That looks like 6 and 8, right? But these are both supposed to be 6, and there's a huge size difference. So whatever, that don't, you know, matter in this bracelet, because we need all different sizes. I even brought out some aqua colored buckle beads. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them. I add 2 as I go. I get inspired. You know, it's just, sometimes I feel like a crazy woman when I'm designing. I'm all over the place. And so I got some oxblood colored 8-ohs. I'll be using the 8-ohs for my transition, my ends, my tapering. I'm not sure if I will be using the oxblood or the pearly white. Probably the pearly white. It'll probably make everything mesh better. So I'll take these away. Yeah, so I'll be using 4mm probably. This is, you know, as we go, we add and take away, but I'll be using 11-ohs, 8-ohs. I got 2 different color of Mikey Tila. I got that same color Tila as these seed beads. That real pretty. That match just perfectly. Look at that. Well, if you could see, they're the same blues in the same travertine. So yeah, I got some 8-oh or 8mm fire polished, 6mm fire polish, 4mm fire polish, and then I'll be using probably a size 10 beading needle and some fireline. I'll probably use crystal fireline. Okay, so get all your materials together, whatever you're going to use, come back. Oh yeah, I need to get, I'm also going to be using probably some of these round disc beads that came in the Wild Horse collection. Let's see, where'd they go? The little round discs, because in the other, there they are. Because I bet both pieces of leather fit through that. And the round O beads that I used on the other wrap bracelet are probably too big for this leather. So that being said, get all your materials together, come back, and we'll start. Okay, I'm gonna get real close. Fold your, I didn't cut any of my leather off. I used the full, I don't know, long piece and folded it in half. And so I folded it in half. Now I'm going to, I'm going to make walnuts. A section of walnuts. This is going to be our loop end of our bracelet. And with the walnuts, the leather's going to come down and back up, and you're going to hold it right there. And then we're going to stick the left leg of our leather through that loop. We're going to bring it around everything and then bring it back through the loop. Okay, and then we're going to pull, and whatever size our button, our closure is going to be, we're going to make sure that we save that much room on our loop. Okay, So, I mean, you could just pull it and it would probably slide through, but there we go. Since this is smaller leather and it's probably going to be a smaller bracelet, and I'm probably using a smaller button, I'm not going to make the loop as big. There we go. That's about right. Yeah, that's another thing. Materials list, you're going to need a button. Alright. So there's one of our walnuts. Okay, we're going to make another one. The leather comes down and then comes back up. And then the end of the left leg, the other leg, is going to come up through the loop. And then you're going to wrap it around everything and pull it back through the loop. And then you're going to pull, try to keep both sides of the leather even, and pull it up to the next knot. Like that. Cute, huh? Okay, so bring the leather down and back up. Come through the leather. Go. Switch hands. Go around all the other leathers and come back through the loop. Pull. Pull, pull. You're not down close to the others. Like that. Okay, that's 3. So let's do another one. Down, up, through, wrap it around, come bring it through the loop, and then pull both sides. Into your, up close to your other knots. Don't pull too tight. You know, you don't want them to be real tight. You want them to be all the same size and consistent with one another. Okay, and there's that much. I'm going to get another color bead mat. I'm going to make 2 more of those knots, come back, and we'll do the next step. Okay? Alright, I switched my bead mat because I don't know if you could see that or not. So just to make sure, I'm going to do it the last one, number 6, I'm going to do with you here. So my leather comes down and back up. Bring it down and back up like that. Did you see that? Comes down and then just cross it over itself. Okay, and then we will bring the left leg up through, around everything, and back through the loop. And then pull, pull. Try to pull them both at the same time, same, you know, and get them consistent with each other. Sometimes you have to work with it a little bit. Once it twists a little bit, it's because you got one side pulled tighter than the other. Let's see. Alright. Alright, once we got our 6 walnuts, I want to put on one of these, or one or two, not sure. These little O discs. Any larger whole bead will work for this. Rondelle or something. Czech O beads. Okay, and that just kind of brings your leather together for your beginning, your transition. Beads. I don't know why that's wanting to twist. But there we go. Okay. Make sure leather's side by side before you pull that up. Okay. And then I think I'm just going to use one for here. And then I'm going to take my leather and I'm going to clamp it on my edge of my box. Trying to get it straight. Okay. And then we want to pull it, straight down and clamp it on the other end. Now my leather is a little wonky where it was rolled up in a roll, when it was packaged. But that's okay. I mean, it'll straighten out. And then you're going to want, there's a little space underneath, but if you need more space, you can add, I don't know, something. What did I add before? Okay. Okay. Everybody's mowing their yard today. Once, one person quits, I started to do this video, another one started. Another neighbor just started mowing their grass, so I hope you don't hear it very loud. Alright, so I've got this underneath my leather to pick it up off the mat. I've poured out my 8/0s. Okay, so this is what, let's see, I'm going to pass my needle up through one leg of my leather. I'm going to leave a piece to hold on to, and then I'm going to sew in later and pick up 1/8. Yikes. So I've picked up the 8/0. I'm getting caught. And I'm going to put, it's going to go set in the middle of those two pieces of leather. My cord is going underneath the first leather. I should have put it underneath both. So bring it underneath the second leather. The only thing about these clamps, any clamps at all, you got to be careful because you keep getting caught on them. And so we're underneath both leathers. We're going to come over, you go over the leather and through that bead and pull. Yikes. It's so hard to do it sitting like this, but I'll manage. And so you want to slide that bead up, right? Leave a little tiny space. It's got to breathe. It needs air. And go underneath that piece of leather. Alright. And I've left too long of a tail, so I'm going to try to pull a little. There we go. Pull. There we go. That's enough to sew in. And we're coming over the leather and going through that bead one more time. Slide it up before you pull it too tight. We're going to pass our needle under the leather on that side. Okay, and then we're going to make sure it's about where we want it and pull that tight. And there's our first bead. Now we're going to pick up 2 8/0s. And when we pass our needle underneath that leather before we pick up the beads, that puts us in position to put on our next 2 beads. We need to pass it under the leather. We need to pop them beads right in there. And hold them up like we would, like a loom, like we're looming in a way. Hold them beads up so you can pass that needle through them. It's a little awkward at first to get it started, I'll tell you. But after you got some beads established, holding your leather apart at the right width, it's a lot easier. And so you bring that thread under that leather and pull, and that you don't want them bunched up too much. You don't want them just to have enough space. So and there's your second row, and you always want to pass your needle underneath the leather. Oh, wait a minute, I think I already did it once. I did. Don't want to do it twice, just once. That way that thread's coming up over that leather and ready to put your next row on. You want 3 this time. And however big or however wide you want your leather, depending on what beads you're going to use, as to how many beads you're going to put on right here, because these beads are kind of here to hold the leather apart, space the leather. Okay, so this is the most awkward part, is just trying to get these beads up in between the leather, especially when your leather is not that wide yet and you're trying to make it wider apart, you know. And so let's take our needle and go up through those 3 beads. And then you want to pass underneath that leather. That pulls them into place better. And then make sure they're slid up. And there's a 3rd row. Okay, and then depending on how wide those are going to be in the center. Let's see. What are we going to start with? I'm going to start with some Tilas. I really wish we had some half Tilas. I do, but they're not in the right colors. I thought I had some white, pearly white ones, but I can't find them. I may not have. But let's see. Let's see how... It's about... I mean, the 3 is a little bigger. Than the Tilas. Let's see, what would we... Let's see, maybe we would need seed bead, 11/0. So maybe we would pick up an 11/0, a Tila, bring it down, see how that fits. That fits perfectly, so we'll go under the leather, and we'll go back through both of them. Slide them up, go underneath the leather. Alright, and we're going to pick up another 11/0 and come through that second hole. Come down. And under the leather. And back through both beads. And then under the leather. After you get it slid up, and this time we'll put the Tila on first, and then the 11/0s. You know, make it a little bit back and forth. So we'll pick up a Tila, 11/0, over, come under the leather, just a second, hold those beads up there so you can get through the holes. Hold them in place. Go through the 11/0 and the Tila. And then you want to come under the leather. And then we want to pick up a 11/0. Come back on the next hole. No, not yet. We want to go through the next hole without the 11/0, and then pick up the 11/0 and come under the leather, hold it in place, and then go up through the beads and then under the leather. Okay, then we want to make sure this is scooched down but got room. Alright, I don't know why that third bead wants to puff up there. Now we're going to do back to the 11-0 first and then the Tila. Come under the leather. Hold them in place. You know, with your finger, push it up, kind of push it up so you can get to the hole. There we go. And go under the leather. Oh, I didn't even get under the leather. Under the leather. And then pick up an 11-0. Okay, then you want to go back through the next hole. The next side there with the 11-0 and then go under the leather. Make sure you slide it up a little. Let it have some air, but you know, try to get them straight. And then come on up under the leather. And then give it a little pull. Okay, I brought out some dove gray colored 11-0 seed beads. I'm not sure if I'll use them, but I thought they went with the palette. And I wanted to say that if you wanted to make exactly the wrap bracelet that I made, this first section here I used Czech tiles and bricks, and instead of the Tila that I'm using, you can use the tile, and instead of the seed beads you can use the bricks. So you would, you know, and where the seed beads are, that would be a brick, and you would just go up one side and then of your Tila and brick, and then go back down and up, just like you're putting another row on, you know, but you'll be going through the second hole of the tile and brick. Okay, and I have added 20 of the Tilas. So, and now we're going to be transitioning back down. So we're going to start, instead of one, we're starting with 3 8-0 seed beads. Bring them down under the leather. Through the beads. And under the leather.
and pull. And pick up 2 8/0 seed beads. Make sure you center them. That way you pull, when you pull, your leather will come in evenly. And go up through, under the leather, up through the beads. And back under the leather.
Okay, now the one. Pick up 1 seed bead. And bring it over. Go under. And make sure it's centered. And hold it. And then you can pull after you make sure it's in the center. Go under. Okay. Now we want to take our clip off, and I'm gonna add some transition beads. Either, you know, it's got to be kind of a big hole bead where you can get your leather through, but you know, anything like a Tibetan style bead, a little O bead, whatever beads you want to use to transition with. And sliding it down, it's kind of tight. It's not real tight, but you know, you can, I don't know if you can hear it. It's catching on the leather. You want to make sure that your leather's side by side too. We don't want it bunched up. Let me put another one on. I think I want one more. There we go. That looks pretty good. Don't want it to bunch up your beads. You want your leather side by side. You want it just to have some air to breathe. And then you want to come back up and clip your leather. Okay, now we're going to start all over again. We got to spread out our leather with our beads. Do we want to keep using our white? I think so. So we'll start with one. Well, first of all right, we're coming up over here. We just want to needle through those two right down the center. And we're coming let's needle under. Get ready to add our one. Needle under the second leg. Get it down in between the leather, and then needle through that bead like we've been doing, and underneath the leather. It's a long project. Wrap bracelets are, but they're well worth it. They're, you know, they're just, I love them. I love leather wraps, leather and beads. Alright, now 2 8/0s. Bring them down. Spread your leather out, get them in there. Needle through them. Pull down. Needle under the leather. Whoa, what happened? I must have not needled. I don't know what I did. Oh, my beads came off. Okay, let's do that again. Pick up 2. And now I just must not have went around the leather. That was strange. Okay, now I'm under the leather. And I'll come through the beads. There we go. Now we want we want 3 8/0s. Bring those down. We're spreading our leather, and if you want to use bigger beads, you can put, you know, 4, however wide you want that leather is how many beads you want to put on here. Go through the beads. I messed them up. I had them perfect there. Alright, and then pull. Come under the leather. That'll help straighten them out. There we go. Pull. Alright. You know, sometimes if this 3rd row just don't want to lay right, and you know, wants to keep pulling in, like, it'll help it once we get these beads in. It'll help hold it out, but I'll go through again, make sure they're good and connected. After I've went over the leather, I'll come back through. Go under the leather. And then go back through and go under the leather. No, there we are. Alright, now how do we want this row? What do we have to work with? Okay, I found something else. I drug out some Czech Candy beads, 8mm, pearl white, and I picked up 5 Miyuki 11/0s and put them on. Sorry, I get carried away and I forget to turn the camera on sometimes. But you know, put 5, and if there are Tohos, it's probably going to be 4. Whatever amount, that pretty much, I made it a little bit bigger than the 3. It's gradually went up from the 3 because these are 8mm, and that's what height they are. So that's why I did that. Now let's see, I'm going to try to mix some '8/0s and 11/0s. Let's see. Let's see how that. It's about the right size. I picked up 2 8/0s and 2 11/0s. And go under the leather. And get ready to put the next row on. Let's see. Let's just reverse it. Come down. Now, if you in the wrap bracelet I did, my next in this one, my next one was 2 4mm fire polish and 1 8/0 drug, and then just repeated. Okay, if you want to follow that pattern. Here, I'm just, I want to try to make a new design. I mean, new to me, And then try to get that up in there. There we go. I mean, if you had time to sit down and draw out a design, draw it out, you could make, with seed beads, you could make like a mountain range or any design with seed beads here. I'm not caring for my design here, not much, but I'm gonna go with it. It might get better. I don't want them scrunched up. Right, and then what do we want? Let's see. Let's try let's try a couple seed beads. A bicone. I don't know, that bicone really don't stand out. Let's take that bicone off. I'll take those seed beads off too. I'll just put the 5 and the final row 5, the ocean green color. Go up through the bottom. Underneath, of course, and get ready for the next row. I got caught on my clip here. Yikes. Alright. Alright, now let's pick up our, make sure we go up. Yep, it's the wrong side. Make sure you go up the right side, because the top is rounded, the bottom's flattened on these candy beads if you're using a candy bead. Okay. Go under the thread. And back up through that same hole. Don't make a mistake of jumping over to the next hole yet. We gotta secure this side. Go under the leather. Pull. Now we'll go down through that next hole. We always start on the same side every time we add a bead. Or use the second hole of the same bead. Go under. And go up through that second hole again. After you've gone up through the leather, you're under the leather, and then go up under the leather. Get ready for the next row. Now, I think we're just going to repeat this whole 5, 2 and 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 5, and then candy bead. It might turn out cute. Wait a minute. It'd be cuter if this was upside down this time. I'll do it with you. Let's pick up 5. Levinos. Bring them down. Go under the thread. Right. Pull and go under the thread. Alright, and then instead of picking up the 2 8/0s first, let's pick up the 2 11/0s and then the 2 8/0s. Under and up through the beads and under the leather again. Okay, and you can pull it straight. When you pull that under, it really straightens it out. Alright, and then the next one would be these 2 first, 2 8/0s, 2 11/0s. Bring them down, hold them, go under, needle under the leather. I can't wait to run out of thread so I can show you how to start a new piece out, how to sew this off. And it'll happen. It's a long, would be a long bracelet. So needle up through these beads and go under the leather, needle under the leather, and pull it straight. And then the 2 11/0s and then 2 8/0s. Under the leather, through the beads and needle under the leather and get ready for your next row. Pull that straight. Okay, and now the 5 Miyuki 11-ohs, or 4 Tohos, probably. Just depends on your beads. Bring those down. Enter. Leather and up through the beads. We don't want these too close. They're kind of, that one wants one to curve. Okay, pull it out a little bit. Okay, good enough. Now we'll do the candy bead again. Let's see, what side did I say I needed coming down on the left? Excuse me, get the hiccups. Go, hold it there, go under the leather. Oh, it's got something tangled up under the thread here. All right, and back up through that same hole. So we've got one side on, we want to go through the leather, I mean not through it, under it, and get ready for the next row, because it's the second hole in the bead, just like you're doing another row. You got to go through the same steps, under the leather and back up through and under the leather. If you can get under the leather in one step, that's cool too. See? Now 5 or 4 seed beads, depending on if you're using Toho or Miyuki. Whatever fits your width of your leather here. This is your width. My camera's, I think, freezing up or something. I need a new one so bad. I don't even know what kind to buy. Really. I mean, I can't find out any information. I don't know. I've went to several forums, camera forums, and watched so many videos. I can't find out the best video camera to buy to shoot small, objects and tutorials. If anybody knows, will you please let me know in the comments? I want a good camera so you guys can see me, see the beads, see, what I'm doing. Okay, so we got 5, and then we would just want to, let's see, how many more do we need? I don't know. I'll let you know in just a second, because I'll come back and tell you exactly how many I put on, and you won't even miss me. Okay, I wanted to stop in because I am running out of room down here. I need to move my clamps. I need to move it up. So you take my clamps off and move it up. So figure out where you want it to be. About there is good for me in the video. And then you might want to put a baggie over top of where you're clamping here. Yikes, I can't get in. See, I just put a baggie over the piece, over my bracelet, and folded it where it wasn't. Just make sure you don't damage any beads. That's all I'm trying to say. Get it on there nice and tight. And then make sure your leather's even. Bring it up here and clamp this side. Okay. So there's that. Now, another thing I wanted to stop in and say was for a 7-inch wrist, my 3-wrap bracelet is a total of exactly 25 inches. The one I made, and it fits me perfectly. So, especially if you've got bigger, bulkier beads, like 8mm beads, they take up space. If you got flat beads, it might be an inch shorter. So, so 7 times 3, because it wraps 3 times, is 21. But my bracelet's 24 inches. And that gives, you know, kind of room for it to kind of move around on my wrist. I would say that's 3 inches more than, like, if you have a 6-inch wrist, it'd be 21 inches. You know. So I wanted to let you know that. And I wanted to show you here how to scoot this up. And I'm going to go ahead and do a couple rows with you, that way I can show you how to tie, finish off your thread and start a new one. So I'm picking up 5, 11 O's, coming down, going under the leather, and then going back up through those beads and under the leather. If you can get it both at the same time. Usually I cannot. Alright, and this time we're going to do the 11 O's first, 2 11 O's, 2 8 O's, bring them down under the leather and up through the beads and under the leather. Alright, how much do we have left? Probably enough for another 2 8 O's, 2 11 O's, down under the leather, up through the beads, under the leather. Two 11 O's, 2 8 O's, slide them down, needle under the leather, needle up through the beads, and, oops, and under the leather. Straight, and then 5 or 4 if you're using Toho. 11 O's, bring them down, needle under the leather, keep this pulled tight so you can get through them, and under the leather. Now, to finish off your string, to start your thread, to start a new one, you're going to, let's say you're going, well, okay, we're coming out, so we'll go back through this row, because we're coming underneath the leather, so we need to get on top of the leather. Now, you can just go over, don't go through, over, under any leather, just go directly over, and go down the next row of beads, and see that pulls that thread right up in that, between the beads and the leather. Then you come over, go directly into the next row. And it pulls it down in between. Next row. And that's how we're going to tie off up the thread that we started with. Okay, these are tight to the leather, so there we go. And we'll go down the next row. And that should be good. And now we'll cut the thread, and that's that. And we will okay, we gotta start a new thread, and I want to show you how we're going to do that. We're going to be underneath both the leathers, and we're going to bring that bead in the center of the leather there, and pull, and leave yourself a little tail to sew in. And so you don't have to sew in a whole lot, but you know, leave yourself plenty. And we're already underneath the leather, so we want to come over and go back down through that first hole. First hole, there we go. And underneath the leather. You pull your bead out if you pull that too hard. See, it'll pull your tail thread right now. So let's see. Now let's go back up through that same hole. Oh man, these clamps really get in the way sometimes. It's okay. Get back up here. Pull my tail thread out. Okay. Am I under? Nope. I gotta go under the leather. Long thread too. I just changed it so it's always getting caught when it's longer. And then come down through the second hole now. We're coming up under the leather, coming down through that second hole. Let's make sure we slide it up before we get it too tight. We slide it up where it belongs. Then go under the leather. You can tie that tail thread in anytime. Sew it in, I mean. We don't tie it. And then we'll go up through that second hole. And under the leather. Get ready for your next beads. Alright, so okay, and I'll be back. Hopefully you watch the videos all the way through before you start making the project with me. But also another good point is to make sure that you look down in the description box, because you see how I've added. I do that a lot too, especially, you know, I don't know, when I'm in the creative process. So after I'm finished with this project and filming the video, I'll put everything I used in the description box. Okay, so I'll be back shortly to let you know how many sets I did. Okay, I did. This camera is getting bad. It's corrupting my video. I don't know what's going on with it, but anyway, I did 4 candy beads and 5 sets of these designs. Okay, and then I tapered down, put my transition beads on, tapered up, and now I think I've decided to use my inspiration beads. So I put one of them on, and the 4mm bicones were too big, so I brought out some 3mm bicones. Alright, and I'm ready, and I put them on, And now I'm ready to pick up another a 6 by, I think it's 8 by 6 millimeter rondelle. 6 by 8. Okay. And then we'll go under the leather. My thread got caught there. And back up through the bead. Under the leather. Pick up 2 3mm bicones. Bring them down, needle under the leather. Go needle up through the bicones. Oops. And pull. Alright. I'll probably do six or 7 of these. You'll know in just a second. I'll be right back to let you know. Alright, so it's 15.5 inches right now. So I think I'm going to add another couple, because this isn't quite as long as the last 2. And I just pretty much eyeball it. It doesn't have to be exactly as long, but go ahead and put a couple more before I transition, before I taper and put my transition beads on. Man, I just a little bit ago, I ran across those 8mm jucks that we got in the dollar bead box. I'll show them to you here in a minute. They would be so pretty with this. I'm not sure where to put them. Yet. Hopefully I can find a place. So I think that makes 9 and 8. Go 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 of the rondelles and 9 sets of the 3mm bicones. Now I'm gonna put my taper beads on and transition bead and come back. Okay, for this next section I'm using the white Tilas. So I've put one on. I picked up a Tila, a seed bead, came under, went up through, came back down, picked up another seed bead, went under the leather, went up through, went under the leather. Now I'm going to pick up a seed bead and a Tila, I'm not sure, I think it's Tila. I'm going to go under the bottom leather. And I'm going to needle up through those beads. And I'm going to needle under the leather. Pick up a 11 seed bead. I'm going to come down through that second hole, needle under the leather. And come back up through those beads and needle under the leather and get ready to put on my next row. Alright, I'm going to make a section of this. I'm going to measure it and see how long I have. I may just be, the end may just be like this. I'm not sure. Well, just let me go ahead and take you through the process with me. Alright, got out my tape measure. I'm going to measure from, because the button attaches at the end of the loop, so that's where I'm measuring from. So we got about 17.5 inches right now. We've got 8 more inches to do. Each of these sections here are about, I don't know, 4.5 inches. That'll be perfect. We can do this section, finish it off, do some walnuts, you know, make it a little decorative, and then add our button. So that'll be perfect. Alright, so make sure, see how this wants to twist up? You want to make sure that you got it straight. Okay, so I'll clip it about right there. Clip it back down here. It's really necessary when you make these bracelets that you do clamp down your leather. I've tried to do it without, and they don't turn out as neatly. You know, that's a lot harder process. Alright, so I got my stuff clamped down. So I'll make about 4 inches of Tilas. And then I'm going to taper down. Add a couple, add one of my transition beads. Just one. And come back and we'll do the next step. We'll do our ending. Okay? Okay. We come down and we put on our last transition bead. Okay, now we're going to make some walnuts. Alright, so let's do what we did in the beginning. Bring the left one up. Wrap it around and back through. And bring that right up to that transition bead. Okay, let's see. And do it again. Make your loop. Bring the left leg through the loop. Wrap it around everything, around the back and back through the loop. And there's 2. I think I have like 4 inches left to do. Pretty sure I just measured it. And there's 3. before. Bringing it up. Bring the left leg through. Wrap it around. And bring it back through the loop. Push it up. Okay, we're back. I got my button, and I've made 1, 2, 3 sets of 6 wall knots. I shouldn't have put 2 on there. I thought that was the end, but I had to go ahead and make a few more. That's okay. No biggie. And then what we're going to do is slide our button on one of the legs. Of our, we don't need both of them in. I mean, if we could get both of them in, it would probably be nice. I mean, let's see if we can. Let's see. Yes, we sure can. Cool. But if not, if you can't get both of your leather through, just one will be fine. It works. That's how I did the one that the Wild Horse bracelet. Try to get your knots straight though. Okay, and then what we do is we just wall knot. We make a couple more knots. Okay, we're back. My camera keeps shutting off. So you know, we make our loop. Our cord's getting a little shorter, but we've got, well, we started with 3 yards. I started with 3 yards of leather. I don't think I told you that in the beginning. Come through the loop. And then just pull that knot. Pretty tight there. And then make another one. Wait a minute. Let me make sure. Yeah, bring it around. Back through. Alright, and then if you want to put, like I did on this one, you know, leave a couple little tails with, put some beads on and tie knots at the end. Let me see. I'll be right back. Okay, Here we are, and we can just put a little bead on. Okay, tie a knot. Also, you might want to put a little GS Hypo Cement or E6000 right here on your walnuts. Just a little dab. Let's see. And then cut it at an angle. And put the other one on. Try to get them close to the same size. I might have made it a little long. I don't know. If so, I'll fix it later. I am exhausted. There we go. Cut this one at an angle. And there's our button. And here is the wrap we made. Oh, I still have to sew this in. Pretend like that's not there. I thought I got them all. So, from the button, down, oh, it's back, down, to the loop. And let me see, let me put it on. I hope you guys like this tutorial, and the ring tutorial's up next from the Wild Horse collection. I've had requests for that, and then the earrings. I got requests for the earrings as well. They still haven't fixed my internet to my liking. It's slow, and I pay for the fastest there is. So, I don't know, but as soon as I can get these uploaded, they will be uploaded. I enjoy making tutorials and jewelry and designs and stuff for people that people love, that I love, and that other people love as well. Alright, so there is the wrap bracelet. You could wear it with the button in front, or you can turn it around. However you want to wear it. But I think the button's pretty. I really like the. Alright, so there we go. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook at Shelly's Jewelry Box. Post post pictures of the jewelry you've made from my videos. I'd love to see them. Alright, everybody. I'll see you in the next video.